Hey everyone, it's Jo here of SportsGrid. Happy Thursday. It's time for Puck It with Jo. And I know there's no games on the slate today, but I just wanted to come on, talk a little bit about the All-Star events, what you can expect, how those skilled competitions are working. $1 million prize at the end for one of the winners. So we'll talk about the players associated with that, the All-Star game, the draft kind of for who is on whose team will be happening later today. So we'll come back here tomorrow, talk about that All-Star game and what I'm thinking in that matchup. But you guys, All-Star weekend, don't bet big on any of these props that you can get for the skill competition or the game itself. It's just not worth it. You never know how these players are going to come out. Matt, thank you for being here. We're also going to look at some divisional winners, who I think is going to take each division and why. And then we're also going to quickly look at some awards. So, got a lot of things we can go over today on the slate. If we don't get to the awards, yeah, we'll get to the awards. There's not that much to go over. So, let's look at these skilled competitions. So, these skilled competitions, $1 million prize. Who is in it? Let's just see who is in it for you guys. We have Leon Draisaitl, Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes. Actually, Jack Hughes will not be in it. Jasper Bratt has taken his place. Kucherov, Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, JT Miller, Nylander, Pasternak, and Elias Pettersson. So those are your competitors in the skill competition. So they have changed it this year. It is a little different from what we have seen in past years. So there are 8 events, and the 8 events are fastest skater, hardest shot, skill handling, one-timers, passing challenge, accuracy shooting, and then those last 2 are the shootout, which is the top 8 players, and the obstacle course, which is the top 6, with the winner taking all that gets through. So it will start with the 12 players. The 12 players can compete in 4 of those first 6. So they get to choose which 4 of the first 6. There's a point system. So like the winner is 5 points, the second place is 4, third place is 2, and so on. So the top from the first 12, the top 8 will move on to the shootout. In the shootout, they are able to actually pick the goalie they're going against. So that is super interesting to see what players will look for those goalies. And I'm going to take huge note of what players are wanting to take on certain goalies and how they do, because I do think this can help us with our handicap going in to the second half of the season when they're facing that opponent. So definitely take note of who they're picking out there, who they think they have the best opportunity to score on. And then the top 6 will move on to the obstacle course, and the winner of the obstacle course will take $1 million. Now, I know Cale Makar has said he's going to split this $1 million with his, I believe, defensive members on the Colorado Avalanche if he gets the win. So we'll see if he's able to win it. If I was looking at someone to win it here, you guys, I've got all the odds in front of me. Let me just pull it up here for you. So Cale Makar to win it all is coming in at plus 750, and so is Connor McDavid. You got Kucherov at plus 850, Nathan MacKinnon at plus 850, and that's where I would go with Nathan MacKinnon. He is such an incredible competitor out there. He just wants to win absolutely everything. I know we're going to get the best effort out of him. We're not going to get him going. It's just $1 million. So I do think Nathan MacKinnon, someone to look at plus 850. The longest shot to get the win is William Nylander, and then at plus 1100. And then you've got JT Miller and Austin Matthews at plus 1,000. Draisaitl and Pettersson at plus 900, as well as Quinn Hughes. And then Barzell and Pasternak right around that 850 mark. So some really good odds if you really do believe in one of these guys being able to get the win. Yeah, the Senators last night. Congratulations on getting the Senators. They scared me a little, not going to lie. Okay, so that's the All-Star skill competitions. Like I said, they get to pick whichever of the 4. We really don't know what they're going into right now, so it's kind of you're going into that blind. But we will have these teams being picked. The team captains, we have Team Matthews, Team MacKinnon, Team McDavid, and Team Hughes. Now, there's a captain and a co-captain on each team, and there's a celebrity on each team as well. It's really interesting to see the celebrities they have picked to come on. Team Matthews features Austin Matthews, Morgan Riley, and Justin Bieber. I have heard from a friend in Toronto that Justin Bieber is having a huge party at one of I can't remember what restaurant he said. Table's like $10,000 a table to go to it. So not sure what's all involved in that party, but apparently that is happening tonight. So maybe Team Matthews will be a little under the weather tomorrow with that huge party. I don't know. That's the only insight I have into that team. When we look at Team McKinnon, it is, of course, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and Tate McRae. And that's really interesting if you know the singer Tate McRae. She's absolutely fantastic. Now, her brother plays for Dartmouth hockey, so we'll see what she's got out there on the ice. But if he's at that high of a level, you know his sister was out there playing with him as they grew up. So then Team McDavid, you've got Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Will Arnett, the comedian, actor. He's pretty funny. So we'll see what he's got on the ice. In the last one, we have the Hughes team. Now, Jack Hughes is still listed as the captain, but Jasper Bratt taking his place in all of the competitions. So it's officially Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, and Michael Bublé. We'll see if he can belt out a couple of lyrics out there on the ice. Michael Bublé, I believe, is a pretty solid skater out there. So it'll be interesting. I know these guys are going to be feeding these celebrities the puck and trying to get them to score some goals. So it will be a 3-on-3 game. And how they play these games is there's actually 3 games. So 2 of the teams go against each other. The winners move on and play again. They square off on 3-on-3 for 10-minute halves. So it's a modified game out there for sure. These teams, like I said, we don't know who's on each team. We're going to have to see who drafts, but it will be definitely interesting. If I was to pick a team, it would be Team McKinnon. You got Nathan McKinnon is so competitive, and so is Cale Makar. I have faith in Tate McRae to come out here and show the boys what she's got. So I think it would be Team McKinnon. But again, we have to see who they pick up for their team. Like I said, that's kicking off shortly here. But you guys, I appreciate so much, each and every one of you, for joining me. So that is where we are at for the All-Star Weekend. That is out in Toronto. So a great group of events out there. Now, when we start looking at some futures here, I'm really interested in what the Vancouver Canucks are doing. Now, if you heard the news last night, the Calgary Flames did trade away Lindholm, and this is the end of an era in Calgary. I can't believe he is gone. Now, for him, Calgary got 3 players, including Kuzminko is how you say his name. Kuzminko out there, who did play for Calgary before. So you've got these 3 players coming to Calgary for Lindholm, and then you also got a number 1 draft pick, Vancouver's number 1 draft pick, as well as a conditional number 3 round draft pick. So it'll be really interesting. Calgary in a full rebuild now. I think there's going to be more players leaving the Calgary Flames, but I'm a huge buyer for the Vancouver Canucks. If you caught me on Game Time Decisions a couple days ago before this move happened on Monday, I was high at that point on the Vancouver Canucks to be able to take the Pacific Division. They are sitting at minus 125, and I really do believe coming out of the All-Star break, when we see them continue to vibe, especially with Lindholm out here, we are going to see us lose value in the Vancouver Canucks. I do think it will move up to like minus 150. So I think the Vancouver Canucks to take the Pacific. They are leading the NHL quietly in points. They've got 71 points on the season, 49 games played, 33 wins, 11 losses, and 5 overtime points they've had in there. So this team is fantastic. I don't think anyone is going to slow them down offensively. We know how strong they are offensively, getting that puck in the back of their opponent's net. Defensively, they have had a couple blinks of struggles, but I trust in this team and I do trust in this goaltending here. We have Demko, their main goalie, and Casey DeSmith as the backup goalie. I have a lot of faith in this team, and I do think if a Canadian team is going to make it to the top, it will be the Vancouver Canucks. I don't think they're done before the trade deadline here. I do think they'll be adding other weapons, so watch for what they are doing out there. But this team averaging 3.8 goals per game, second best overall in the league, converting on their power play at 25%. They're only allowing 2.55 goals per game, and their kill is holding opponents at 80%. So I love what they're doing out there on the ice. They can win on the road and at home. They haven't had those struggles that we've seen out of some other teams. Like you look at the LA Kings, this team, wow, we know the downfall over the last couple of weeks, but this team wasn't winning at home. And then we have the Vegas Golden Knights in the Pacific Division. I look at Vegas and Jack Eichel's going to be out for a while, and this team just hasn't been impressing me. They sold off a lot of their players at the end of last season. There was movement, so I don't know if they can repeat this year. And then the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the All-Star break came at the worst time ever for the Edmonton Oilers. I think we come out of this All-Star break and that winning streak. I hope not. You guys, I give a lot of not harsh comments, but a lot of joking comments towards Edmonton because I am a Calgary fan. But at the end of the day, this team is looking to break history if they continue to win. So I'd love to see them come out strong out of the All-Star break. I think it's going to be a lot harder, though, with that time off, that momentum. The time off is a momentum killer. So I think it's going to be a struggle. Then I talked about the LA Kings. They've had issues. The Seattle Kraken are interesting to make the playoffs. Joey Decord has been so phenomenally hot in net for them. Now he's a long shot for the Vezina. He's coming in at plus 7,500 to win the Vezina. And I think if you're looking for that long shot bet, he would be someone to look at, as well as Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers. He's plus 6,000. So Skinner has been on fire. And I can't believe I can say that about them and Skinner in net, because that defense and goaltending has been phenomenal. So it's the Vancouver Canucks for me to take the Pacific, though. I really do think they're the hottest team in the Pacific. When we look at the Central Division, it's the Winnipeg Jets for me. Now they're sitting 47 games played, 65 points. Colorado sitting at the top of the division right now. They have 67 points. They played 49 games. So the Winnipeg Jets are basically on par with them, in my opinion. And they're just a couple games back, and they will be able to make up those games and put those points on the board. And so I do think if they played the same number, they would have the same record here. They've got a top defense and they've got really solid goaltending with Connor Hellebuck. He's another one that I would look at for the Vezina. I think this team is the most complete team in the whole league. They have the offense and they have the defense, and this defense so phenomenally strong. What we saw out of them in the month of December and January, holding opponents to 2 or less goals in so many of those games. I think it was like an 89, 95, between 89 and 92% rate of them holding opponents to 2 or less goals per game. So they played absolutely incredible. They are rolling right now. And while the All-Star break might glitch this defense a little bit, I still expect them to come out nice and strong. Now, another thing, you look at, this team was able to win without Kyle Connor on the ice. He is back and he's back at full strength. So I think this team is another team that is completely unstoppable. You're getting them at plus 165 to take the division. When we look at the Atlantic, I think there's an opportunity for a long shot here. We know the Boston Bruins sitting nice and comfortable at the top of the Atlantic, 71 points, 49 games. This team, it's the Boston Bruins. We know what happened to them last year, though. I worry that maybe they take their foot a little bit off the gas. They locked down so hard. And they did rest players too at the end of the season, but I think they were out of gas and they lost in that first round. I could see them coming into the last couple of weeks with the Tampa Bay Lightning chasing them within the division, and the Lightning being able to get it done. And at the value you're getting the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's definitely worth it. They're coming in at plus 2,500. So the Florida Panthers are the second favorite, with the Boston Bruins being the favorite there. But I can't pass up on the value. Now, they got off to a slow start with Andre Vasilevsky being injured and not out there on the ice in their net. So now that he's getting back and his form is getting so much stronger, I do think This team has every opportunity. And this is a pure value play at plus 2,500. So I need them to clean up defensively on the ice on the road. And that's where we've been seeing those struggles. We've been seeing those losses. At home, they've been dominating on their defensive side, and they get out on the road and they just let us down. So we need a completely solid effort out of them. And then the Metro. The Metro is pretty open here right now. So the New York Rangers sitting at the top with 63 points, with the Carolina Hurricanes sitting right below them with 61. They're a game behind them as well. The reason why I can't go with the Carolina Hurricanes and I look more to the New York Rangers is the goaltending. Is Igor Shesterkin in for the Rangers? I do have a lot of faith in. Jonathan Quick, the backup there. Now, Jonathan Quick has to get back into form, but we have seen struggles out of him the last couple of weeks. He gets tired out there. And I really do think he gets tired out there. And that's nothing against Jonathan Quick. But when I look at the other teams within the Metro, I can't trust the Carolina Hurricanes with the goaltending situation. Frederik Andersen is expected to be back. So that is a huge bonus here with Frederik Andersen, but he can't stay healthy, you guys. And then if Frederik Andersen can stay healthy through the rest of the season, yes, absolutely. The Carolina Hurricanes will win the division. They're coming in at plus 105. Their defense is so solid at limiting opponents' ability to get those shots on goal. But if he can't stay healthy, you got Ranta and Spencer Martin, and I don't trust either of those goaltenders to be able to do what Frederik Andersen could do for them in net. So I'm cautious with the Carolina Hurricanes. And then when we look at the Philadelphia Flyers, you guys know my thoughts on the Flyers and the struggles within the locker room with everything with Carter Hart. So I'm staying away from the Flyers. And then we look at the New York Islanders. New York Islanders have struggled so much on defense. And I know Patrick Roy has taken over this team. And this defense should be locking down coming into the second half. But they've only got 52 points right now. They've got a long way to go. I just can't see them catching the New York Rangers here. So I would stay off the Islanders as well. So that is the divisions where I'm going with them. If we're looking at some of the award markets, you guys, the Hart Award is definitely one that I love to bet. But remember, this is voted on. And when you're looking at the Hart Award, really try to look at the players, and if they weren't on the ice with their team, would that team have as much success? And that's where I kind of go, you've got to look at their goals, you got to look at their points with their assists and everything like that. But it's really if that player wasn't there. So when we look at Connor McDavid and he's coming in at plus 400, yes, he's absolutely phenomenal for the team. But with Connor McDavid not on the Edmonton Oilers, would they still be able to do what they're doing? And we look at that, and maybe they would, because you got Leon Draisaitl. You've got so much talent on that team right now that Connor McDavid is a difference maker. He's the GOAT, don't get me wrong, but will that be enough? And at plus 400, he's a favorite here. So you guys know I don't like going at favorites, even when we're getting plus money. So what I would do is start looking at other players deeper down for that little bit of a longer shot. Now, the longest shot here is Panarin of the New York Rangers. He's got 66 points so far on the season, 30 goals, 36 assists. I like his ability, especially with me thinking he's going to go deep. If you look at the Boston Bruins, Pasternak has been absolutely lights out. He's got 72 points on the season. And you look at the next guy below, how many points he has is Brad Marchand, and he has 47. So Pasternak, absolutely key for this team, getting those points on the board. And then you look at a team like the New Jersey Devils. Without Jack Hughes on the New Jersey Devils, this team has struggled to score. So I could see votes coming in for Jack Hughes. He's coming in at plus 500. So that's the way that I tackle the Hart Awards. We'll see how these teams come out of the break. When you look at the Vezina, I do think there's those long shots with Stuart Skinner and Joey Daccord. So Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers and Joey Daccord of the Seattle Kraken. Now, Joey Daccord at plus 7,500 and Stuart Skinner at plus 6,000. If Edmonton somehow goes deep and Skinner stands on his head, you absolutely know he's someone to look at. I do like the two other Canadian goalies for the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets. So that's Demko for the Vezina coming in at plus 550 of the Vancouver Canucks, and Connor Hellebuck coming in at plus 1,000 for the Winnipeg Jets. And then let's look at the rookie trophy here. We've got Connor Bedard is still listed as a favorite. Now he's coming in at minus 175. I can't get behind that because we come out of this All-Star break. He's got 5, 6, maybe 7 more weeks on IR. I just don't see him making enough of an impact. And when he comes back here, how impactful are the Chicago Blackhawks going to be in the second half of the season when we know they've lost Corey Perry, they've lost Hall? He has no building elements around him for him to really shine. So I would love to see Bedard come in and be able to get it, but I just don't think he will. And at minus 175, you guys know I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. The players I would look at here, the Arizona Coyotes, I know you guys know exactly who I'm talking about, Logan Cooley. He's been absolutely clutch for us, clinching those overtime wins with those goals. He's been so strong out there on the ice. He's coming in at plus 750. Definitely think you should take a hard look at him. And then Luke Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. He's coming in at plus 1,000. Another offensive defenseman who's able to get things done out there on the ice. I do like that look as well. As for the Rocky Richard Award, which is the goal leader, Austin Matthews absolutely dominating out there. He's coming in at plus 125. If you want to go down to Pasternak, he's coming in at plus 380. He's been so phenomenal. Connor McDavid is actually behind Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl coming in at plus 600. Connor McDavid at plus 650. Kyle Connor of the Winnipeg Jets, another one to look at here. Now, he was injured and back out, but he's plus 1,500. You got Alex DeBrincat of the Detroit Red Wings. He's coming in at plus 1,800. Rantanen plus 2,000, Jack Hughes plus 2,000, Kucherov plus 2,500, Chris Kreider plus 2,500. So much value out there, you guys. But again, that's going to be the player who leads the league in goals. So something to look at for sure. If you're looking for those defensemen out there for the James Norris, you've got Quinn Hughes as the favorite right now of the Vancouver Canucks. And if you start going down these lists, where the Vancouver Canucks players are sitting are in the top, you guys. I really do think a contender for the Stanley Cup. He's coming in at plus 160. Cale Makar, the second from the Colorado Avalanche, a plus 22 or plus 225. So those are two players I definitely would look at. If you go further down the list, you got Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning, plus 1,800. Definitely someone to look at. You got Adam Fox of the New York Rangers at plus 3,000 as well. And then Erik Karlsson at plus 4,000, which great odds. So you guys, Larkin, you got Larkin for the goal last night. I'm so happy to see that. Leafs going to do in the second half. Okay, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they absolutely have all the talent in the world. They lose the games they're not supposed to lose, and they win the games, and they step up to their competition. So looking at the second half here, I don't know how much I trust that team defensively. I think there are some trades coming around them. So I'm waiting to the trade deadline to really see how I think this team does. Do I think they make the playoffs? Absolutely. I do think the Leafs can make the playoffs this season. They just need to give it all they've got on the defensive side of the puck. And then we've seen them be able to lock down in a lot of games. But then we've seen some other games where they decide not to play any defense. And that's where my struggles comes. I also wonder about Samsonov in net for the Toronto Maple Leafs, how he is going to carry on through the season. We know he got sent down to the AHL and then brought back up. We will see how Samsonov performs, but if he performs solid, this defense continues to play well like we've seen in a lot of their games, I do think they can go deep. Justin Bieber stole your girl. I'm sorry that he did that to you. Man. What's the record for consecutive regular season wins? I don't know. That's a good question. I would have to look that up. Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber hanging out with Corey Perry. Maybe. Will we trade Kadri in Calgary? I could see it happening. I could see Tanoff going as well. I really do think Calgary is up for a full breakdown rebuild of this team. This team needs new blood and they need new chemistry out there. They're absolutely struggling. So Kyle Connor, first goal. I like where you guys are going. But yeah, that's everything, you guys. We went over a lot of stuff today. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll come back and look at these teams, who's going to be on them in case anyone's looking to bet anything. Again, All-Star Weekend. Go nice and light. We'll see the motivation. I do think Nathan McKinnon, out of all of the players out there, is the most competitive out there on the ice. So I could see Team McKinnon getting the win before I even know who he has picked to go on his team. And I really do think Tate McRae probably comes out and absolutely slays on the ice. So I'm excited to see her. It should be fun. This is not going to be the boring skill competitions that we saw last year. This is going to be a lot better. This format that they have is going to be absolutely fantastic. So you guys make sure you tune in, watch those skill competitions. Let's see who takes home the $1 million. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's make some freaking money out there on the ice, and all the best. Oh, I'm on Game Time Decisions tonight at 7:12 Eastern. So make sure you join me. If you guys hit that like button, like Matt said, I would so appreciate it. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We'll talk to you tomorrow.